are in Austin, Texas right now. This is one of our favorite places, maybe our favorite place in the world, and it feels so amazing to be here. Usually when we are in Austin, or in the US in general, we're living out of Winnie, our 19-foot Winnebago. But if you checked out the video I put up recently about moving out of it, you'll know that right now we're in an apartment. So this is the apartment that I'm going to show you. And if you're curious why we moved out of the RV and are in an apartment right now, you can check out that video. But one of the main reasons is just that we want the spaciousness for a couple of specific things. However, it is still super important to us to live really simply and to live a minimalist life. And so one of the points of this video is I want to show you how I feel like it's really easy to do that and live in a simple apartment without much stuff. With the exception of a handful of things, everything that's in our apartment is stuff that we had already in our RV and brought here. And I'll point out the things as I go that we've gotten in addition. We get a lot of questions about how we find the places that we stay in because we're not anywhere that long term. And usually it's through Airbnb. So this one we found as an unfurnished apartment through Airbnb for $10.50 a month. I think that's all the background info you guys need. Let's get into the tour. This is our main multi-purpose room. One of the reasons we love this apartment so much is that it's got so much wide open space. We aren't fans of furniture. We love to move our bodies and we do a lot of physical training, and this space is perfect for it. So over here we have our tools for our fitness training. It's mostly handstand stuff and things to help us stretch and roll out our bodies. We also have a lot of open wall space over on this side and that side, which is helpful because we do a lot of wall holds for our handstands. On this wall over here, that's the first item that we got as like an extra when we moved into this place. It's a whiteboard and we're using it to detail project outlines and things like that for our business. In Winnie, we have the fridge covered in chalkboard paint, so we use that in there, and we find that this really helps us organize things. In the corner over here, we got a table, a foldable table that Connor is using for his art area and music area, and then we've borrowed a chair from a friend. We've also got our very much loved Tom Bin backpacks over there. That's pretty much what we live out of when we travel. So if you're interested in that, you can check out either of our videos on that. There are a lot of closets in this apartment and most of them we aren't utilizing, but I'll show you the ones that we are. Before we do that, let's check out the kitchen. It's also such a treat to have a full kitchen space, and I would say even more than that is the fridge. Because I think we did pretty well in our RV with kitchen space, but we didn't have a fridge that was always cold and we didn't have a freezer. So we've been celebrating that by having a lot of frozen fruit. We've been getting these from the Mexican market, and it's like all sorts of tropical fruit pulp. This is meme sapote, and enjoying them in our smoothies. It's also really nice to have a cold space to store things that we're in the middle of eating, such as watermelon. If you watch my Instagram story, you know that I eat a lot of melon, and I don't always eat it all at once, so we can put it on there. And we can store our greens and our veggies and all the good things. It's especially nice this time of year in Texas because the average temperature right now in June is around 90 degrees. We can also keep our Vitamix out, which we use just about every day to make a big smoothie. And we're enjoying having a stove. I really like making tea on it in the morning. That's my favorite use for that. There's also a lot of storage space, although I will say everything pretty much that we have stored in here we were able to store in Winnie. But we have space for our fruit, these potatoes that a friend gave us that I'm sure Connor's gonna steam up and enjoy, more fruit, and then down below on this side we have even more melons. So if you saw in our RV tour video, we have what we call the melon trench, and this is basically the equivalent of that. It's been such a treat having a door jamb to put a pull-up bar in. Our friends lent us their pull-up bar, and I've been doing a pull-up every time I go into the bathroom, and it's making my pull-ups so much better. And we've got the resistance band hooked up on it too. So if I want to get even more reps out of it, I can stick my foot in the resistance band and voila. It definitely feels like a luxury right now having a full bathroom that's easy to use all the time. Winnie does have a full bathroom, but she doesn't have a tub. Mostly our preference is to bathe in Barton Springs, which is this natural spring-fed pool here in Austin, Texas. But sometimes it is nice to soak in a bath, or sometimes you just need to rinse off. So we've got the full shower. Another thing that we bought was a shower curtain, a mat, and 2 towels. Besides that, we've basically got our same setup going on in here. We really love this hanging sea to summit toiletry kit. We put most of our toiletries in there. Also some things that were on these cute little shelves in Winnie, we have out on the counter. So our essential oils, Bronner's soap, our tooth powder. And then this is salt water and hydrogen peroxide, which we use after we oil pull to rinse out our mouths. We've been taking advantage of this swell shelf rack going on over here. Most of this stuff we had underneath of the counter in Winnie in the shelving that we built there, and now it's even more accessible. We've also been taking advantage of the library down the road and getting even more library books lately, which we're really enjoying. Neck to neck with our desire to have a bigger space, an open space to do handstand training in and to do acrobatics, was our desire to have 2 rooms so that one of us could be in one space and one could be in another space, especially if we wanted to rest. So this is our bedroom. At first, when we got in here, we were just sleeping on the floor, which is really comfortable. And then after a few weeks, we started sleeping on Winnie's bed that we brought in here, but there's like a cutout in it because it's made for part of it to pop off. And then we got this really cool Thai mat, which was about $85. I'll put the link in the description below to that. And it's a super simple setup and we're really happy with it. There's also hella closets in here, and one of them we're taking advantage of as our bike storage. We have a bike rack on the back of Winnie and also Connor's keyboard box. It's fun to figure out ways to store things and just to be mindful of what we might need. For example, keeping a box like that, because we're not going to be in this apartment forever. We don't tend to stay anywhere long term, and so it's nice to know that we'll be able to box that up and take care of it when we leave here. This is just a hot water heater, and then on this side we have a big walk-in closet, which we totally don't need, but it's really fun and luxurious. I feel like we could basically live in here. And it has all of our clothes. Up top we've got this is actually our bag of sex toys. And we have an extra backpack. This was my very first lightweight backpacking backpack, and we still use it sometimes when we go to Thailand where we run a festival and bring extra equipment for the festival with us. And we've kept our packing cubes as well, our large packing cube and then the smaller ones inside of it that normally have our clothing when we travel. Now, I will say that we've acquired a bit more clothing as we've been here, mostly from like clothing swaps and stuff like that, and just like really cool acrobatics clothing that people make and then send us. And I mean, I think that's one of those areas where it's like, how much does something delight you versus how important it feels to have like very little. So we like to walk that edge and challenge ourselves. We've also both gotten these super cool shirts, these Coexist shirts from our friend Annabelle, who makes them, and I think she sells them at livingfruitfully.com. I'll put the link to that below too. And then our hanging clothes, which we're hanging in the back of Winnie. That's basically our apartment. It's super simple. We really, like I said, don't like sitting in chairs. We don't love furniture. So when we work, we mostly, or when we're on the computer doing business stuff, we mostly do that sitting on the floor or standing at the counter over there. Same thing when we're filming videos, we just do a setup somewhere in the apartment, get nice lighting depending on what the day's like. We don't really need much to live our ideal life. Mostly what we need is space, and in Austin, Texas, this time of year, AC. And we're really reaping the benefits and enjoying both of those elements so much. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about our space or our living style, feel free to post them below. If you like this video, please share it with somebody and subscribe to my channel for more things like this. Catch you guys again soon. Mwah! Bye. And I will... Ooh, okay.